The amount of time it just took me to press the play button to start this recording should really just summarize how I feel with anxiety. So, I was just recently diagnosed with anxiety. I never knew that these feelings I've been feeling and the pressure and the feeling that people are going to judge me constantly every time I walk into my house is because of my anxiety. I never associated with it. I never knew. I thought this was just who I was. It was just my self-esteem, and I had to learn to live with it. It's gotten to the point that I don't even like to leave my house. I don't like to go out alone. Even going out with my boyfriend just for a walk to the store to get groceries is hard enough. So to imagine doing that by myself is just ridiculous. I don't leave my house anymore. Like, I'm home alone right now. There's one other person in this house, and he's sleeping, as far as I know, in another room, and just the thought of him maybe coming out and seeing me record a video that I'm later going to post to the world is terrifying. I feel like people are going to make fun of me. I feel like they're constantly judging me. It's like a voice in my head, just saying, like, oh, like, they're gonna make fun of your hair. I had to chop this off. Like, I had no way around it. And, like, look, I just fucked up what I was saying, and I don't know how to edit, so we're gonna have to all live with it. It's terrifying. My heart doesn't stop pounding. It's constant. I don't even really stay in contact with my friends anymore. My best friend, I haven't seen her about 2 years. My other friends that I grew up with, and we hung out every day until the day I moved. I talked to one of them for the first time last night, and that was the first time in 2 months. The only time I leave my house is when the baby has a doctor's appointment. I have an 8-month-old. Or, like, I have to get groceries, or I go to my group, which is teaching me building balance and coping skills. Sometimes I feel like it's not working. I'm not medicated at this moment, and I've been having the fight for the past week or two on if I should be, because apparently these skills I'm learning, they're not helping. It's just, I can't do anything. I can't clean my house. It's hard enough getting up out of bed every morning. And once I finally do that, I sit on the couch, watch TV. I have all these goals and plans in place to help me live with my anxiety and to live with myself and to make my life better. But I don't know how to put them in place and put them in motion, and I don't know where to start. I feel like I'm suffocating, honestly. And I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to live anymore. There's no way to really describe how you feel when you have anxiety. And maybe that's why there's so much confusion on it, and why so many people are like, oh, suck it up. But these feelings of irrationalization and or feeling like as soon as you walk out the door, every single person's gonna have their eyes on you, and they're gonna be watching every movement you make, and they're gonna judge you for every step towards your goal. It's just irrational. Nobody's looking at me, but I can't help it. I feel like I'm gonna fall on my face and everybody's gonna laugh. I don't know. I don't know how to live with this yet. I can't find anything good in myself. I can't live. Now, I'm gonna interject for a second over on the side of the spectrum and let you know, yes, I do have a mild case of depression, but we haven't quite diagnosed it as depression yet. We haven't quite, there's a lot of black and white in my answers. There's no gray to confirm, and that may be confusing, but let me explain. All of my anxiety symptoms have taken over my life. They took over way before I even knew I had anxiety. I thought I was depressed. I didn't think there was any way in the fucking world that I'd have anxiety. So because of these symptoms, and because they're getting so severe and taking over my life, and I can't get out of my house every day, and I can't convince myself to do this or that, or blah blah blah, people are gonna make fun of me. They're interlocking with what might be depression. I don't know. I think the anxiety is making me depressed. I think the symptoms and how I've chosen to live are like I said, making me depressed. But anxiety is the key factor into all of it. It's the key that fits into the lock. It's what makes me stay home. It's what makes me not want to do anything because of my self-esteem. No, I'm not gonna lie. I have a jumble chin. Whatever. I'm way overweight. I just had a baby, and I mean, wasn't skinny by any means before, but I mean, that again interlocks with the before spectrum about how I've suffered with these judgments and the idea that people are gonna make fun of me my whole life, because I can't even convince myself to run on the treadmill in the back room because my neighbors might hear, or I don't know, somebody might walk in my house and see me and they'll make fun of me. And what if I can't do my full 30-minute cardio workout that I had planned? I'm a failure. People will make fun of me for that. Like, this is why I can't get a step further. I can't work on my self-esteem. I can't convince myself to do these things because I'm so scared of being judged for everything. I'm just trying to figure out with medications what's best. I'm not suicidal. I have a really big fear of death. I'm scared of what happens next. What is after this life? Like, what am I to expect? There's so many ideals and ideas of, oh, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, but you won't know until you get there. What if it's nothing? What if there's nothing to look forward to in the afterlife? So I'm terrified of dying, but at the same time, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to fight, and I don't want to be this person that I have become, because I've become a failure, and I don't want my daughter to think that I'm a failure. I graduated. I had to fight hard to do that. I started secondary school. I was very, very happy. I worked hard to get there, and I found out I was pregnant. I don't know, like, I miss it. I miss not having the responsibility, and I miss work. And yes, I'm gonna go back after my maternity leave, but at the same time, I'm wondering, is that best? Is it best for me to leave my daughter and go to work? Is it best for me to stay home with her and cuddle her and teach her myself? Like, I don't have the money to live the way it is now, let alone paying off a daycare to watch my child. So, living with anxiety isn't, it's not ideal. And what really irks me is when you see people saying, like, oh, anxiety's not a thing. Like, everybody has anxiety. And yes, that's true. But some people can cope with it and some people can't. That is an anxiety disorder. When anxiety takes over your whole life and masks every thought and every compliment and just everything. When you can't take a compliment to heart and you can't give a compliment because you think that, oh, that person's gonna think I'm lying, I'm really not. Or you can't walk outside of your house because you feel like people are gonna make fun of you. You can't meet your basic needs. That is an anxiety disorder. It's when the anxiety stops you from living. And that is where I'm at right now. I don't know how other to explain it, but just simply I can't live with anxiety and it's taken over my life. It truly has. I just wish I would have figured it out years ago. I wish I would have been diagnosed years ago instead of them being like, oh, you sound like you're depressed. Here, have this medication. Oh, that gave you really bad side effects. Oh, this one made you want to kill yourself and it made everything a lot worse. Well, try this one. I wasn't depressed. Well, I guess, let's take that back. I was depressed. But it was from the anxiety symptoms that pushed me over the edge. It maybe if I was properly medicated and diagnosed before with anxiety and I knew what I had to work on, maybe the symptoms wouldn't have got that severe. Maybe I would know how to live better by now. Maybe I would be at my goal weight. Maybe I would be able to go in the grocery store and buy healthy foods instead of all this junk food because it's quick in and out. I don't need to think of, oh, this recipe needs this and this and this and this, and there are 4 different aisles. I literally go to the freezer section and the meat section, the macaroni section, whatever, and I'm done. Instead of taking an hour to do my groceries, I take 10 minutes. Maybe if my anxiety didn't prevent me from doing this stuff and going out and not being afraid to go to the gym alone and not being afraid to spend $5 extra on my plan or whatever to get a trainer, or maybe if I didn't stop myself all these years, maybe I would be a lot better. But I mean, like I said, maybe I can learn to live with this one day. Maybe making this video won't be a mistake. Maybe. Maybe I'll know what it's like to be happy again.